Hey there, everybody. My name is Ameera. I am a transpersonal spiritual healer in Southwest Washington State, and this is the number 2 of 3 in a series of videos that I am doing on the Great Kingdom of Atlantis and the 12 chakra system. So if you saw my last video, we talked a little bit about the philosophy or the teachings of Atlantis as far as there being 12 chakras in the human auric field, 12 major chakras, instead of just the 7 that are traditionally taught in our today's culture. And I took you through the Earth Star and the root chakra and the 2 parts of the sacral chakra, the masculine and feminine, and then up into the solar plexus. So we're going to continue on and we're going to move into the heart chakra. So the heart chakra is one that everybody's familiar with. It's green and it holds the energy, of course, of love and joy and giving and grief and all those things that are all about the emotions that are all about the heart energy. So, but what you may not know is the heart chakra, there's actually 2 parts to that as well. Or I guess a better way to put it would be that there is another heart chakra called the high heart chakra that rests right here at the thymus gland between the heart chakra and the throat. And the color of the high heart chakra is pink. It's beautiful, bright pink, and the high heart chakra represents our ability to receive. It is our self-love and it's our self-worth. So we talk a lot about the heart chakra. We talk a lot about opening the heart, and a lot about, in our culture, in our society, we talk a lot about it's better to give than receive. And we talk about, like, if you're a good human, if you're a good giver, and there's truth to all of that. But what the Atlanteans really knew and recognized was the idea of balance between the receiving and the giving. So what I see when I work with, many of my clients, and the walk even I've taken in my own life, is that most folks have pretty open heart chakras. They understand the energy of giving, and they understand the energy of, joy and love, and like letting love out. But what a lot of folks don't understand, that the Atlanteans clearly did, is that the energy of receiving is absolutely equally as important. So their ability to know that it was okay to receive, a compliment even, and it was okay to receive gifts, and it was okay to take care of themselves. Self-care and self-love and self-worth. That was high priority to the Atlanteans. They really did understand that as much as they gave and took care of one another, and as much as they took care of the earth, that their journey was also to take care of, themselves, to make sure that they were doing enough things for themselves to replenish, to keep that flow coming in as all was moving out. And that was really easy to do in Atlantis because of the vibration there, of course, and because of, all the nature and the beauty that surrounded them, and because of the fact that they all had so much respect for each other's boundaries. And so what do I mean by boundaries? Okay, so there was nobody in Atlantis who would take advantage of another soul. There was none of this, like, we have so much in our society, the energy vampire mentality, or the people who just, you can't say no. You want to say no, but you say yes because you feel bad for giving somebody a no, which is a boundary crossing for yourself, for your own self-worth. And, the beings in Atlantis just really knew and understood and respected the idea that they were sovereign beings, that they are all self-responsible. Certainly, they all helped each other out and assisted each other, but there was nobody who was left feeling drained, at the end of the day, by their family or by their work environment or by anything going on in their life, because they all took a lot of time to take care of themselves. They all took a lot of time. There was a huge sense of community. Atlantis was built on the idea of community and symbiosis, symbiotic relationships. And so the Atlanteans knew the importance of being out in nature. They knew the importance of self-care, of being close to water. They knew the importance of getting, exercise, and just even the importance of time alone for meditation, and for just creating that and continuing to keep that conduit between themselves and the divine open. And when they would manifest, they didn't censor or judge or wonder if they deserve their manifestations. Their high hearts were open to, just to the place that they understood that whatever they focused their intention on, whatever they created through their heart, they could bring in through their high heart, because that was the whole idea. Being in a fifth dimensional community is being able to manifest and being free to create and being free to explore and free to share and free to feel in their joy. So that's the high heart chakra. So that takes us up into 5 and 6 out of 12. And 7 is going to be the throat chakra, which most of you are probably familiar with, our speaking our truth and our speaking up and speaking out for ourselves and speaking words of love. And I want you to know that, throat chakra is not its own energy and entity. An open throat chakra really starts with an open solar plexus, because where do we get our power to speak our truth? We get it from our courage, and we get it from our confidence. We get it from our ability to know ourselves and to walk in our truth in that solar plexus of energy. So, when you or I are expressing our truth and expressing the things we really want to say, that energy moves up from the solar plexus up through the heart and then out through the throat chakra. So, if it's a challenge for you to speak your truth, don't just look at the throat, look at also your own personal power center. So the next chakra after that would be the third eye, the brow chakra, which is wisdom and intuition. And the intuition from the third eye is also very connected to the intuition to the solar plexus, the intuition to those gut feelings. And then we have the crown chakra above the head, the connection to source. And this is where most information that's out there, that's where most of it stops, is in the crown chakra. But beyond the crown chakra are 3 more chakras. And so the next one beyond that is going to be the soul star, which is about 6 inches above the crown. And it is a magenta chakra. And that chakra is our connection to our guides and our angels. It's connection to our higher self. So I kind of see it or feel it as kind of like the mouthpiece for my guides and angels. When they bring in information, when they bring in knowledge, I feel it coming in from here and being, moving down into my crown chakra and into my third eye and dispersed into my body. So that's the soul star chakra. So if you want to increase your connection to your guides and angels, acknowledging that you have this chakra above your head and working with it, clearing it. And in the sessions, in my Sacred Touch of Atlantean Energy sessions, I do a lot of work on the higher chakras, on opening them up for people so they can feel that increased connection to source and their divine voice. So right behind our head, we have a chakra. So that voice in the back of your head? There really is a voice in the back of your head, and it starts with a chakra called the causal chakra. And it's light green, and I refer to it as your Jiminy Cricket, let your conscience be your guide chakra. And this is the voice of your soul. So how do you know when you're listening to the voice of your soul? So when you're listening to the voice of your soul, it will always speak to you in kindness, compassion, and love. So for many of us, instead of listening to our soul's voice, kindness, compassion, and love, instead we're listening to some other voice. A teacher or a preacher or a parent or somebody who has hijacked our soul's voice and basically created, an ego voice that convinces us that we are less than. So when you're not listening to your soul's voice, because you kind of get that chatter in the back of your mind, that, oh, woulda, shoulda, coulda, and, you're too this or you're not enough that, like that voice that's really somebody else's voice, convincing you that you are less than. So if you have that voice going on in your mind, in the back of your mind, I really want you to know that this is not your true voice. It's not your divine soul's voice, because the divine soul voice, which is your true voice, is always kindness, compassion, and love. So when I help people to shift their thoughts, I work with this chakra, and we release that ego voice and help people to I help people to notice what's that voice coming through sounding like? Is this a voice of ego? Is this a voice of, unworthiness? Or is this a voice of your soul that will always speak to you of your divinity, always, every time? And the Atlanteans understood and fully lived and walked in in the idea that they were born divine. You and I, we are born divine. Nothing can take away from our divinity, and nothing can add to it. There is nothing that we can do that will make us more or less divine. Our divinity just is. And a really important part of bringing back this whole mindset, this whole community and philosophy and rebirthing Atlantis is each and every one of us knowing and walking in our divinity and walking in that self-love of the high heart, that worthiness of the high heart. And part of how the Atlanteans were so able to keep that connection is they didn't have that voice. They didn't have anybody in their lives from the time they were small children telling them anything less than the truth of their soul, which was divinity. It's what they lived, it's what they practiced, it's what they knew to their core, that they were divinity. The final chakra, then, finishing off the 12 chakras, is about a foot above the head, and it's gold, and it's called the Stellar Gateway. So the Stellar Gateway completes the 12 chakras in the human auric field, and the Stellar Gateway is the completion point before all those other chakras that go up into the universe. And this is the chakra where we begin to achieve cosmic consciousness, where we start to really bring in that gold ray of the divine. And I work a lot with the gold ray with myself and with clients, because I really believe that the gold ray is the highest and most powerful and divine God source ray there is. And when we open up and work with our Stellar Gateway chakra, we're able to bring in that gold light into our energy field. Reach up and begin to know ourselves as fully realized, enlightened beings that are, eternally connected to the cosmos. So that's the scoop for the 12 chakras in the human auric field. In my next video, I'm going to talk about aura and the layers in the aura and how they relate to the chakras. I'm going to talk a little bit about aura clearing and healing, because I think that's just super, super important as well. I hope this video was helpful to you. You can find me at ameerabeth.com. Please feel free to reach out to me with any comments, or to see me for a Sacred Touch of Atlantis energy clearing session as well. I do them in person in my mermaid room, and then I can do them via Skype or phone as well. So I wish you a blessed day, and oceans of love.